What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
Good as night, right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating and drinking. Look a damn mess, just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up, what's up, what's up? It's me, L Teddy 27, and I am back for yet another review. This, ladies and gentlemen, will be our review for Kandi and the Gang. This is season 1, episode 2. Shout out to my news clubs out there. It is entitled Family Recipe for Disaster. Yeah, it was a lot going on in this episode. So let's get right down to it. We meet cousin Patrick, and who is the manager of the parking lot. I didn't know that was a position, didn't know that was a title, didn't know I could go and have aspirations to be the manager of a parking lot. But go ahead with your ass. Go on, I ain't gonna listen. Get it how you live. Uh, yeah. We also meet cousin Melvin, who is the kitchen manager. Now, I mean, but if you're the only one working in the parking lot, like, is there like a whole crew of people working in the parking lot? Like, y'all, I've been there, and that parking lot is not that extensive, but you got to have a whole manager of it, because, like, you got a whole crew of people working in the parking lot. But whatever, get it how you live, honey. If you like it, I love it. Anyway, Patrick and Melvin are roommates. They live right behind the restaurant or whatnot. So, Patrick is dating the Instagram thought of the month. Some beautiful young chick named Safari. We'll see how that goes. He look all right. You know, Melvin is a big guy. You know, he's big, heavy set. You know, he's the cook. He like to cook. You know what I'm saying? He's big, light skin, heavy set. Patrick is okay. He ain't all that he presents himself to be. He's not bad looking at all. Now, I ain't gonna lie, he's not bad looking, but he ain't all that. Anyway, so they chatted up or whatever, small talk, all that, this, that, and the third. They done recently moved in together as roommates, but even though they're cousins, they kind of grew up kind of as brothers. They're much younger than Kandi, um, and so like they're old enough for Kandi to be their aunt as opposed to just their cousin. They're young enough where Kandi could be their aunt, not just their cousin. Anyway, because Candy's aunts are his grandmothers, are their grandmothers, I should say. So um, we then see Brandon and Dominique go on a date. Now, they have the little cute little date thing. He tells her he wants to date her. They do the whole thing. Brandon is an attractive piece of dark chocolate or whatever, and Dominique is a beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Dominique is a very very nice looking young lady to me. She's a very attractive young lady to me. I don't know what it is about her, but she just looks good to me. Anyway, so we get to the end of this here day, and he tries to kiss her, and she curbs him and pushes him away. And I'm like, just from a kiss? I don't know, cause she seemed real squeamish, like I don't kiss people on the first date, or I don't that. I was like, you do realize that you are from Miami? I mean, I guess the Georgia air and the Georgia water done got too deep up into Dominique, because down here in the 305 in the M to I to the A, we fast. I mean, we it's fast down in the MIA. I don't know, child. And from what I see of Georgia, they fast in Georgia too, honey. That's why the Center for Disease Control is headquartered there. That's a whole nother story. Moving on. Chandrika and Dominique then go over to Torrance house. Dominique brings her dog. What is with it with people bringing their dogs to people's house? Let me tell y'all something. If I ever invite you to my house, please believe, if you bring your dog to my house, either you gonna leave your dog outside, or you and your dog is gonna be left outside. And when I say outside, not right outside my goddamn door, so that little animal could be shitting all up on my welcome mat and everything. We're not doing that. Please don't bring your dog to my house at all, at all. A mess. Anyway, um, so Don Juan tells them that, I mean, Torrin tells them that Don Juan, invited him to work back down to Old Lady Gang. Now, let's get to this. Don Juan is out of order. The method and manner with which Torrin left does not mean you shouldn't be bringing him back in. And let's be clear, this is Atlanta, Georgia. Torrin is not the only person in the great city of Atlanta that houses millions of people that can do what he does. And I think that's one of the problems with both Kandi and Don Juan. They're over here holding on to scraps and people who are well beneath where they want their business to be, as if these are the only people across the great city of Atlanta that has like 85 different counties in it that can do their job. Like there's so many other people that can do their job and probably do it much better. But y'all holding on to people that's bringing you and dragging you down. Just a fucking mess. I don't understand that because there's no way you basically no call, no show into my job, telling me you quitting because of COVID, and then all of a sudden we see you out here around dozens of people with no mask on, living your best life. That's how we know it wasn't COVID. And then we bringing you back on. No, ma'am, it's the backpedaling and pussy popping for me. Anyway, the ladies immediately start bad mouthing Phillip. They immediately, and as much as Torrin tried to profess, well, I'm gonna try to go in here with giving Phillip a clean slate. You already knew it was downhill from there. Because every time they had a chance, they were bad mouthing Phillip and bad mouthing the restaurant. But I guess Torrin and Chandrika ask Dominique if she's dating Brandon, and she tries to be coy and be like, I don't know, child, I don't that. First of all, it's real weird. If you didn't want them in your business, you should have shut that shit down from the beginning. Hey, bitch, no, I'm not dating him, and please don't start spreading that because I do not need that around the restaurant that I'm dating him because that could mean I could be getting fired, and I don't need to be getting fired over some he say, she say bullshit and gossip. Stop that, please. So you supposed to nip that in the bud right there, and then you wouldn't have what had happened later. Anyway, we then had family drama that started. It didn't start immediately. First, we see Melvin goes over his grandma's house. He goes over Aunt Bertha's house and so forth. And then after a while, we learn about another relative named Kim who used to work there, and then she quit. And then she tried to get people to quit with her. Like she tried to get other employees to walk out and quit with her, and that pissed off Aunt Joyce and Aunt Nora especially because they weren't here for it. We'll get to that later. Um, then we're back down to the restaurant and Brian comes. Now Brian comes. This is first day back. They say, baby, you need to go talk to Phil. He went downstairs and talked to Philip, and Philip lays down the law and says, well, I heard it's a lot of things that changed. A lot of change. You mean me? You mean the changes that I made here? That's what Philip said. I was like, oh, child, because he let Brian know real fast. Yeah, I did change things. It was all me. Sure was. Girl, you either gonna get it together or this not gonna work out for you, honey. I don't know what you was doing before, but right now this is how it's gonna go. What? As my phone is going off. Anyway, that was a mess. So then, um, when they went back upstairs and everything, um, Chandrika invites everybody to hang out after they get off work. Philip immediately says, that's not gonna happen. Brian says, oh, Philip, you go out. Philip says, and I quote, not with you. Girl, Philip be having the one liners that be so cold as ice that I live for. Philip has my management style when you are no nonsense. I don't crack a smile with you, or I don't like y'all. I'm not here for it. We ain't friends. Baby, Brian says, you don't go out, Philip? Not with you. Girl, I feel like, listen. Girl, I feel like, because I was like, amen to that, honey. Because I'm like, girl, I might go out, but it won't be with you. No, ma'am. No, God. I might be one of the girls, but I'm not one of your girls. I was here for Philip. But I understood where Philip was with that. Because I was like, I agreed. It might be a conflict of interest for him to just be fraternizing and all of that with them at this point. Maybe later on, months later, once he kind of gets everything in order and gets everything together, that might can work out and happen now. But I think that just his management style and where he is at this point in his managerial role there is too early, too soon for him to be talking about, okay, I'm finna go and we finna hang out and get drunk and fraternize and be shooting the shit. Nah, boo, you ain't on this level. Maybe in the suite by and by, not right now. I was with Philip on that. Keep it classy, keep it professional. We then meet Philip's boyfriend, Felipe. who lives down in Brazil. So they got this long distance relationship, and we get some of the backstory of Philip to see that Philip does have a softer side. He talked about losing his mom like a year ago. He talked about that, she was very close to him, and his mom talked to him all the time about really just always being a leader and just always being that go getter. And after his mom passed, Felipe came along and really was a breath of fresh air and helped him, find, direction and find a way to keep going after the death of his mom. I don't know. I'm not trying to play, relationship therapist or whatever, but I don't know if this is a true and genuine, real like relationship. He stays in a whole nother continent, okay? And he came at a very vulnerable time when a lot of you were very vulnerable, and sometimes there are things that you overlook or things that you put on the rose colored glasses, and you don't necessarily pick up on all of the things that you normally would had you not been in that vulnerable state. And I think that's what's happening a little bit here with Philip and Felipe. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm not wishing bad on their relationship simply because I want to sneak in there and get with Philip. I'm not wishing bad on their relationship because of that, but it would help. I'm just saying. Just saying. Anyway, but no, I was being real serious though. So I wonder if, because let's be clear, it's one thing for you to have a long distance relationship with somebody in another state, a whole nother thing for them to be in a whole nother country, mind you, a whole nother hemisphere. Anyway, moving on. It ain't my relationship. If you like it, Phil, I love it. Anyway, we see the employees go out to this little hangout and shindig, and I wrote down that they immediately all started bad mouthing um, Philip and bad mouthing OLG. But before we got to that, Brian had to let us know real clear that Torrin is built like a tripod with three legs. Mama Girl is holding something between them good legs, honey. Mama Girl got enough to fill up everything that you got going on. I was here for it. Hey, Torrin, do it. Do what you do. I'm just saying, DMs are open. We here. Would love to see what's going on. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, but that's what, according to Brian, Torn is over there blowing backs out and is working with three legs. Anyway, but they over there bad mouthing OLG and bad mouthing Philip and all of the things involved with OLG. Patrick comes, and then immediately a smart. Well, before Patrick came, you had this situation where Chandrika was doing too much, and she has already cemented herself in that role where you talk too much, you do too much, you always in the gossip, and you can't hold water because because Dominique was already there. As soon as Brandon came, she was like, "Oh, you need to move so Brandon can sit," because I'm never gonna call him Brandon. He's always gonna be Brandon. Anyway, so Brandon can sit right next to Dominique, and Dominique was like, "Girl, I ain't trying to have my business in the streets like this. I don't want people to be all in my business." And that's why I said when Chandrika and Torin first asked you about that, you're supposed to shut that shit down right there. Hey, boo, ain't nothing going on with me and Brandon. Please stop spreading that lie. Please don't go around telling people that because that's not how it goes if you really want to keep people out your business. But you see Sean, you should know Chandrika by now. That whore can't hold water. And anything she know, she gonna blurt out, and that's exactly what she was doing. She can't keep her mouth closed for nothing. Any and everything that she knows is just gonna come flying out, flying out, flying out. We learned all about the fact that she only made $12 an hour. This was now what happened was Patrick came. Now, you would have thought that a smart person would have said, let me hold off on talking bad about the restaurant since Patrick is here, and Patrick is Candy's family. He's the owner's relative. But no, nobody has the common sense to think that. So Chandrika is just going there. I only make $12 an hour. So you thought it was a good idea to let us know that as a college graduate, someone who paid thousands of dollars to go to school, allegedly get a degree in education, only to be out here working $12 an hour. There are people in high school that don't even have a high school diploma that make $12 an hour. What are we talking about? Girl, I guess. Anyway, and they just went on and on and on, bad mouthing the restaurant and bad mouthing Philip and all of this stuff. I just knew at that point Patrick was gonna go back and spill the beans, and later on we found out he did. So, so then we get down to this family intervention and this family talk. They got the relative Kim to come over there. Baby Kim was doing everything in her power. I want to know what laws of gravity and physics she used in order to get those 3 strands of blonde hair into that ponytail she had. Because Mama was breaking every law of physics and gravity to get that little bitty pieces, 3 strands of hair into that goddamn ponytail. Girl, I get Kim, girl. Anyway, baby, Mama Joyce set it off first. She wasn't here for it. Baby, she called that woman every kind of motherfucker in the world. And I was here for it. But baby, Mama Joyce just talked the talk. Aunt Nora said, bitch, I don't do all that talking. Bitch, I nux if you buck. Do you know who I am? Bitch, you keep talking. I'm going to give you 2 to the head, 3 to the body. Aunt Nora got up and was here about that life. They had to get people in between them and break them apart. Girl, I was here for Aunt Nora. I'm here for all parts of Aunt Nora. That's my dog right there. That's my dog. She was here for it, and I was here for it as well. Anyway, nothing got resolved because baby, Aunt Nora was ready to lay a bitch out, and it didn't go well, and they just had to let it be what it was, knowing that there was gonna be no real resolution. Moving on, Candy goes by the restaurant, and of course, exactly like I said, not Phillip, Patrick. Patrick ended up spilling the beans and telling Candy all that the girls had to say down to the hangout spot about Candy, about OLG and everything. Candy said right away about Chandrika. If that whore had that much of a problem, she could have told us, the ones who pay her. How about that? I said, oh, I said, oh, bloop. And she'll continue to make $12 an hour. She didn't say that part, but I kind of surmised that at that point, Candy had said, and she'll continue to make $12 an hour. Anyway, moving on. Um, Torian comes and to the restaurant. Well, first he meets up with Don Juan, and he comes there with this air of, "Girl, y'all need me. I don't need y'all. Y'all need me." This sense of entitlement. And Don Juan, instead of shutting that shit down from the beginning, Don Juan played right into it, doing just like Candy, like making these people feel entitled as if they're the only people on the face of the earth that can do their job. And so Torin went in there and no, now I know full well there's no way Don Juan didn't send him over to that restaurant without telling him, make sure you go check in with Phillip, because Phillip is the new, director of operations. So make sure you know what you do. Baby Torin didn't do none of that. Torin went over there and started immediately doing what he do. Girl, I ain't got to do that. Do you know who I am? I'm Torin. They need me and they want me. And Candy is going to make sure that I'm back here. Baby Phillip looked at him. Can I help you? Girl, come sit down over here and explain to me what you got going on and why you over here. Girl, when I tell you the two of these women had a whole pissing contest, I fully expected either they was gonna whip out their dicks and flop them out on the table to see whose was bigger, or they was gonna whip out their respective purses and flop them out on the table and see whose was bigger. Either one was gonna be flopped out on the table because baby, they was over here having a whole pissing contest, and I was here for it just like this. Well, which are we flopping out? Preferably the beans. Girl, I wanted to see. But it was just this whole, and you know how Phillip is. Phillip ain't gonna bat an eye. Phillip ain't breaking. Phillip ain't here for none of the fuck shit. And so I guess Torrin thought he was gonna go in there and gather Phillip and act like he had to turn it. And Phillip sat right there flat footed like, girl. And cause he was like, cause Candy wants me, girl. Apparently, Don Juan and them ain't tell you, girl, that you need to come. You answer to me. You answer to me, not to them, boo. Girl, what? I be living for Phillip. Phillip sat there right there like, girl, if you don't sit down somewhere. Phillip was like, mm-mm. Now, Phillip sometimes do be out of order. Phillip do be out of order sometimes. I have to be honest. He be saying some stuff. I be like, ooh. But what you got to understand is there are some people, I've worked for bosses like Phillip. I sometimes have been like a Phillip in my managerial style, especially when you go someplace and it's a mess and the people there have this sense of entitlement and the people there just be doing too much. You got to do that. I also think part of it is Phillip knows he's on this show and knows that he got, play that. He's willing to play the villain. Play it well. Do what you do. It kind of went on from there. I enjoyed that last scene, that pissing contest between Phillip and and Torrin. I was here for baby Aunt Nora. I was here for all parts of Aunt Nora. Baby, I was here for all parts. It was a good episode this week. I really enjoyed this week. I'm glad I didn't have to drag Chandrika like I thought I would. I'm glad she stayed off my radar. Chandrika and Brian, I can already see I'm gonna have to drag them. Torrin looked like he got a drag coming his way as well. We'll see. Y'all get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think, whether y'all saw what I saw. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.